Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a fantastic day so far. Today I really want to talk about consulting and entrepreneurship and highlighting the fact that all the skills that you need are pretty much within your current workplace. Now, of course, we develop skills all the time. There are also always opportunities to learn new things, etc., etc. But thinking back at your place of work, there have been opportunities for you to develop great communication skills, leadership skills, negotiation skills, skills in problem solving, skills in organizing and facilitation, skills in project and program management. There are all these things that come into play. And I say this because when I speak to contractors or individuals who are within this space, a lot of them are within this space because essentially they had done something previously before in the past and they've been able to capitalize on that niche, on their industry, on their network in order to do what they're doing right now. If we use me as an example, my history and my work experience has predominantly been within the NHS, within the public health sector, within the public sector in general. Therefore, it's no surprise that whether I'm contracting or independent consulting, that there are ties and links in with their industry. And let's think about this logically. If recruiters are trying to get the best talent for certain end clients and organizations, they want to make sure that that person has the most aligned experience that evidences that they are the right person for the role. And so with that in mind, you are most likely going to get opportunities that are aligned to what you did previously. Now, this does not mean that you are just stuck there, but it does mean that you are more likely to get those opportunities. And sometimes we see this as a bad thing because we're like, oh, I need to run away from this place. But sometimes that feeling is not just because of the fact that the industry or the organizations or the vertical is terrible. It may just be because the autonomy that's attached to this place, i.e. whether you are a permanent member of staff or within some sort of different contract, is different. If you have autonomy, or more autonomy should we say, as a freelance consultant, or if you are in a position where you don't necessarily have to clock in, clock out, you don't have a line manager and all that kind of stuff there, the sentiment and feeling is different. Yes, you may still feel ill feelings potentially, but the sentiment is different. And so this is all to say that your contract setup determines a lot in terms of your mental health and willingness to do specific types of work. So when thinking about future consulting or contract opportunities, think about what can you do that is aligned to what you've done in the past. Now, of course, this is more applicable to individuals who have had some level of consistency, okay, with their experience. So that consistency could look like they've done project management style type things. Maybe it's not complete project management, but they've done project like things. So they could have been a project coordinator or project manager or implementation lead or whatever it may be. So they're within the project world, but maybe the sort of industry that they've been involved in has evolved or changed. It could have been healthcare, it could have been the arts, it could have been sport, it could have been finance or tech or whatever it may be. And so sometimes the role is relatively the same to a degree, or there is an evolution of that role, but it's been in various industries. So that gives you license to, again, go into consulting, contracting, entrepreneurship aligned to those different things. Or sometimes it's the opposite. Maybe you've got roles that are varying by nature, okay? So you're not doing the same role, but the industry has been the same. So that industry being healthcare. And that's an example that I have pretty much gone through. So if we think about it, I was a change manager, I was a payments officer, I was a commissioner, I was a project manager, I was a senior implementation lead, I was all these different things. I was a commissioner, I think I said already, yeah. So I was all these different things, but it's all within healthcare. And so in addition to that, with those different roles that you've done, you have to think to yourself, what are the strong themes that exist? Are there strong themes in governance? Are there strong themes in strategy? Are there strong themes in good stakeholder engagement and management? Are there strong themes in something else? Because those strong themes are what you will use when it comes to your unique selling point or your unique value proposition. And really and truly, there's no like document that says what is your UVP or USP. But this is more for you to advertise yourself effectively when talking to people who could give you opportunities, such as end clients who may be the CEO or executive member of staff or the hiring manager or the recruiter. You need to confidently talk to that stuff because your experience talks to that. It highlights problems that you could potentially solve, actions that you may take, and the certain type of bespoke, to a degree at least anyway, outcomes and results that you can generate. And so I say this to say, do not dismiss what you've done before in the past as an opportunity for your future. Do not dismiss it. That is probably the best thing to do. I was dismissing it for a long time because I was like, why am I still hanging around in healthcare? And I don't know why I had that viewpoint, to be fair. I wanted something different. I wanted to expand, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I found myself in this nice niche. Now, is that dangerous? Some may say yes. Some may say that's very, very dangerous because what if something happens to healthcare? It's very true. As far as I know, everyone's going to need healthcare. But of course, the niches may change, so to speak. So depending on your strategy, there is an approach where you can say, okay, cool. I can sort of like work anywhere. I'm a process consultant. I don't need to be in a specific industry or niche. And you should be able to evidence that based on how you articulate your value. But some people are niche consultants. And really and truly, they just feel like they should be in an industry. Of course, their expertise may span towards that, and that's different. It's not the same. Because, you know, the process consultant is an expert in the execution. Okay, it's the knowledge they have around the process. Whereas the niche expert, you could argue, is the same, but it's specialized. There is a specialism to it in relation to the delivery of that work. So, you know, a neurosurgeon is a specialist. Anyone can't just do that. Whereas to a degree, you would think anyway, anyone can do project management, but the more I'm in this space, the more I realize that is not the case. There is a certain rhythm and robustness to it, you know? And so you have to bear this in mind. Think about what skills you've developed, what experiences you've had, and map that to opportunities that may exist. I think the other half of that is knowing where to find these opportunities. So they may be in the same places where you found previous work. They may not be. But the gold you're looking for may be in your backyard. That's the whole point of this video. That's the whole point. I think sometimes we try to find something new. You know what? We're just that sort of race. The human race is one that likes to honor the new, and it's understandable because it's exciting, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's what we need. That just favors the emotional side and the ego. So what can you do about this? Well, and I've said this before and I'll say this again. You can be a student of your curriculum vitae. You can be a student of your portfolio and be abundantly clear about what problems you've actually solved. So, you know, sometimes you write things down and it's just like, I supported, I facilitated, just saying stuff. But if you really sort of like get into the weeds of it, what did you actually do? Maybe your support provided confidence and advice to your senior at the time, to your line manager. Maybe your coordination enabled people to feel safe when it came to, I don't know, matters of health and safety. So there are certain outcomes that you have produced based on the work that you've done. And it's thinking about what those outcomes are. Those outcomes can be based on how confident a team feels or a leader feels. It could be based on a specific strategic objective or goal that's being achieved. Because once you know the problem and you know how you've tackled it based on the actions, of course that's a big one, then defining those results and outcomes are clear, because you can have sentences that you can reel off your tongue easily. So when we think about entrepreneurship, when we think about consulting, if you've always been a professional at heart, if you've always had the consultant mindset at heart, i.e. being able to solve strategic issues using problem solving frameworks and other sort of approaches to help a client solve a unique problem, then all the skills that you need are in your current role or in your previous roles. Promise you that. We can always develop, yes, but trust yourself to know that you have the skills you need. There's someone out there who needs what you need, or who needs what you have, should we say, who needs what you have. So hopefully that helps. If you ever want to learn more about setting up a consultancy or what that looks like in the UK, or contracting or whatever it may be, check out my past videos. I've got a whole playlist on this stuff. There's plenty of videos on there that you can check out. And of course, if you want me in your inbox, then you can click on the link below to check out my newsletter and just learn more. Just learn more. Obviously, doing this face-to-face video stuff is cool, but some people like to read. You can always check out my website as well if you don't want anything in your inbox. And of course, if people want more hands-on help, then if coaching is something that you're looking for, then I do have some capacity to take on some individuals, but I'm not taking on a lot of people at the moment because, life is busy. Life is busy. These videos have definitely generated interest. So let me know not in the comments below, but you can click on the links below to find out more information. So hopefully that was useful. This was a shorter video. I don't even know how long this was, but just note that don't try to find gold elsewhere when you can water the grass in your own garden. And if you want to see more videos centered around portfolio careers, leadership, consulting, all of that kind of jazz, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell. And as always, my friends, understand, reach, and expand. Peace.